Right. So, last time we completed Exhuming the Past, where we explored the Moline Dam and found that it had a secret underground cave used for experiments like short-range teleportation and experiments with the vortex interlock modulator devices where long dead people can remain alive in vortex form, such as was the case with the guardians of Moline Dam from House Moline. And we delivered the interlock to Ekris, who is working on getting the morning device ready for us to be able to go infiltrate the Scaled Citadel. And that was part of the House Dulkef questline of aligning the houses. Next, we need to assist House Vithal. And we already spoke with Vaeric's father, who told us to look and ask around at the Herald's Rest, the bar in Dazra, and see if we can find more information. We were able to find and talk to another off-worlder named Tane, who luckily has a tracking device on Vaeric, so now we're going to go with him and with his tracking device and search northwest for Derek.
Plenty of places to be friend's a strong word. More like friendly acquaintances. Guess we both felt the Herald's Rest was one of the few places that made us feel like real people. A couple of drinks and everyone's your friend in that moment. He's a good enough guy, I suppose. A little self-absorbed, spoiled. Growing up in a noble house probably does that to you. A little naive, too. He's got this friend, Bianca. She's crazy about him. But the guy's oblivious. And his friend Eggy? Guy needs to lay off the Koza. But I heard Vaeric let him in on his tab. That's gonna work out well. Blames his dad for everything, though. And I get it. Victor Vithal is not an easy man. Well, it's Victor we're talking about, so it wouldn't surprise me. But Vaeric can't see how much effort Victor puts into making sure his son has all the tools he needs to take over. He'll go on these rants of Victor drilling him on scenarios. Stuff makes my brain hurt. But Vaeric talks about it like child's play. He's just used to getting his way and the world revolving around him. When you're raised to be elder, that's bound to bring you all sorts of extra attention. So sometimes when hanging around with us peons, he forgets we have our own thoughts and opinions. Hey, whatever. Always up for a chat. wonder what plants here you could eat. Here they come!
There must be something in all of that. Can't afford to let go of. About time you woke. We have things to do. Quite a view from here. This place is unique, is it not? A temporary encampment, but not an uneventful stay for the occupant. Have anything of value?
Good riddance. I could have done without that. All my years and all the planets I've been on. Never gonna get used to those things. Sure it looks like it. Damn House Baron. Wiping out half their city and bringing in horrors like these. At least I don't see a body around here, so I hope that means Vaeric's alive. You find anything? Yeah, I figured as much. At least his body wasn't attached to it. So what next? Technology is always finding a way to let me down. Time to go analog, but be warned, these old eyes have seen better days. No pun intended. Let's head back down and see what we can find. And by we, I mean you. If he's injured, him... One person's junk, am I right? Lost it.
Take your bet. Unfamiliar environments should always be approached with caution.
That's far enough, strangers. You want to tell me what you're doing on my property uninvited? Not here. Not unless you want me to get some target practice in. If you have business here, state it. Through here, you realize you're in the middle of nowhere. I can understand that, but I can't help you. The only people here are my partner Zen and our daughter Mila. No one comes around here. We're isolated, and that's the way we like it. All right, fine.
Irina, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Zen, yes, I know quite well. Never mind my partner, they're just overly cautious. As I said, we're isolated out here. We keep to ourselves. But we did aid an injured young man a few days ago.
That's gotta be Vaeric.
It's too coincidental. It must have been him. We didn't know and didn't ask. We introduced ourselves, and he quickly changed the subject. But he was polite, and something about him reminded me of our own son, so I didn't feel the need to push him. Casimir Mazur. He left a while back to find work in Dasra. He didn't want the life of a farmer. We haven't heard from him since the incident. He had a pretty bad injury, but we were able to patch him up. He didn't want to stick around, though. Once he felt better, we sent him north. There's a long-abandoned growth farm we felt he could make use of. He claimed he lost everything in the incident that swallowed half of Dasra. He wanted to start a new life. We even gave him 2 of our own groats to get started. Great Serpent, forgive my foolishness, but I trusted him instantly. I saw so much of our own son, Gas, in him, that I didn't doubt nor question. I allowed him his privacy in what I thought was a time of great need and grief. It's only now that you've come looking for him that I've made the connection.
Hey, hold up. Have you been listening? She didn't know Vaeric was a traitor. There's no crime in that.
We aided a young man in need of help. We never would have knowingly aided a traitor.
This is exactly what I feared. Who even is this elusive traitor that we're being threatened over?
So, the Ministry of State must have sent you. Even if we'd known the man, how could we possibly know he was a traitor?
We are isolated here. We were raised to aid our brethren, not turn them away.
Vaeric being a traitor is news to me, and I live in Dazra. You've got to believe these people.
Thank the Serpent, and thank you. We would never knowingly move against the will of House Varun. Farewell.
Great Serpent bless you for
Farewell,
sparing my
brother.
family.
I would prefer
You might
that
hurt
we
yourself
both
carrying all
remain
that.
light on our feet. You never know what could happen.
Hoping this is the last.
Is something amiss?
Thank you for showing mercy today.
You go on ahead. I'll keep watch.
If this unit is performing a software update, please do not attempt further conversation. Because I do not experience boredom. Find
I hope you are sufficiently... rested. Who knows what this day will bring.
Is there some compulsion that leads you to do this? Childhood trauma? It is okay to let things go.
It's been a minute since I stretched the old legs. Nothing going on out here. How about you? Find anything? Good, because this old body is in need of some rest. Sounds like it's a waiting game then.
It seems I have uninvited guests. You want to explain yourselves?
Whoa, hey, it's me. Dang. Put the gun down already.
It's not you I'm concerned about. It's your friends.
Rightfully so.
I wish I could say I was pleased to meet you, but something tells me this isn't a social call. Please, if you're here on my father's orders, allow me to plead my case. If I can't appeal to your sense of duty, perhaps your sense of compassion will do. I am not sure how familiar you are with our culture, but all I've ever wanted was the right to choose. I was born House Vithal. I was raised to inherit the role of elder, to run the Ministry of State, to worship the Great Serpent. But I want none of it.
That's not the life anyone wants.
It's never mattered how much I tried to reason with him. My father simply would not let me go. His pride and the fear of what it would mean for House Vithal is all he cares about. Shame, embarrassment, fuel for the other houses to ridicule my father. I don't want any of that for him, but he left me no choice. If he would have listened just once, maybe I could have left on good terms with my father's blessing. Control the narrative, as they like to say. That's the issue. As far as my father's concerned, he's the most supportive parent out there, giving me all the tools and teachings I need to inherit House Vital and assume the reins of the Ministry of State. I'm the ungrateful one. I'm the problem. Not him. All I want is to make my own life. Something Tane understood and was willing to help me with.
The credits help too, but yeah, guess you got the whole scoop now. I realized I was going to help a friend. And yeah, I knew the risks. That's why we had the tracker. I needed Vaeric to get far enough away from Dazra so I could safely pick him up and get him out of here. I was hoping you'd see it that way. I lost my ship to the incident, so I didn't want Vaeric running off thinking I could just grab him and go. I was also out all the credits he was gonna pay me. That's where you came in. I figured, why not two for the price of one? I didn't realize it was gonna turn into a whole thing.
So, now you know my true intentions for leaving, and given the circumstances, I may be here for some time. My hope now is to make the best of it here. It seems opportunistic, I know. The truth is, the Scaled Citadel was the last straw. My people are so blinded by faith and politics, they don't see how it's destroying us. Anasko Varun eliminated half our population in the blink of an eye. My sister Vashti among them. I could no longer live in a society that won't put its people first. That would destroy itself in the name of a god that has done nothing for us. And if Varun society continues down this path, when we bring about our own end, will that faith be worth it? Anasko's experiments, execution punishments, us versus the rest of the settled systems. I hope you can see why I want to walk away from all this. To start my own life. I ask that you give me that chance. No. I can't go back. I want nothing to do with that life. I may be in grief. It's not that I want to let in... Sadly, this is true. It does weigh heavily on me. You're right. It's something I've strongly considered. All right. I concede. I can see how I may have acted abruptly. Vashti's death. So much devastation. So much loss. But will my father even take me back? Returning to Dazra is something I can hardly believe myself. So point made. I'll need to make some preparations before I return. Gathering my things and making sure Bella and Boris are taken care of. I'll be along shortly.
Same here. I'm going to stick around and help Vaeric out. Besides, I don't think I want to be around when you report back to Victor. Do me a favor and find me later at the Herald's Rest. Can't believe you convinced him to head back home to Daddy. Don't forget to find me at the Herald's Rest once you're all done at House Pathal. I'm going to hang back here with Vaeric. Help him pack up. I'm going to hang back here with Vaeric. Help him pack up.
Thank you for showing me the error of my ways. I'll be along shortly. I pray my father will be as understanding as you. I pray my father will be as understanding as you.
You seem to have taken on more than you can carry. If you require assistance, please, just say so.
Currently engaged in the completion of my assigned task. Please do not interfere.
Can we speak for a moment?
I have been curious. I know that your role in Constellation was thrust upon you in an unusual way. But that experience does not demand that you stay. You could have delivered the artifact and then left. Why do you stay? Yes, the idea of what they might represent has been motivating for many of the members. This is, after all, what Constellation is for. My past is... the spoils of victory. If you have the time, I wish... I have been curious. You could have Yes. My past is complicated. And anyone in Constellation will tell you I do not speak much of it. But my family... I have been curious. You could have Yes, the idea of what... My past is complicated. And anyone in Constellation will tell you I do not speak much of it. But my family always stressed the importance of having a purpose in life. You must have a reason for being. This group of people, who by rights would never associate with one another, has come together for a common cause. That is impressive on its own, before considering the magnitude of the work they have undertaken. The possibilities it holds. Fun is not a consideration. I am not saying I am incapable of it, it just should never be a priority over other things. When I first came to New Atlantis, I was shocked at how many people go about their business every day like drones. They do their jobs, eat their food, sleep in their beds, all seemingly without concern for anything around them. Complacent. Their experience is so different from much of the settled systems. They do not know how good they have it. There is no struggle to survive here. No great risk in daily life. I'm sure you have seen for yourself that is not the case for much of the settled systems. Hostile environments, dangerous creatures, not to mention the threats posed by other humans. None of that touches these people. I think if there is no struggle, people can forget what living really means. Purpose cuts through adversity. I know that all too well. And these people seem to have no idea. No, it has not. We do what we must to carry on. My family is unique within the settled systems. I grew up outside the bounds of the United Colonies, or the Freestar Collective. My parents, and their parents before them, did not believe anyone outside our family could be trusted or relied upon. You can imagine, I am sure, how existence without ties to others is challenging in space. They believed, and still do, that anyone who was not part of our family did not share our values, our goals, and was ultimately a potential threat. My time in the settled systems has mostly led me to agree with them. Difficult, yes, but not terrible. For now, though, it would seem you and I have found purpose in Constellation. I believe that is enough. I am pleased that we have common cause, and have enjoyed our time together. Thank you.
Promised.
Is it done?
Must serve.
What news do you bring, Vindicator?
Serpent, be merciful.
Is this true? You allowed a traitor to live. Impaired?
Victor, this is great news. Truly, the Great Serpent has guided him back to you.
Well, not exactly the Great Serpent, but I have returned nonetheless. Father, I admit I had no intention of coming back, but the Vindicator found me. He helped me see under a different light. Will you forgive me?
Victor, how dare you stall when your son has asked your forgiveness?
Ha! I have been nothing but a real father to this boy.
Father, I have returned out of love and support for you and House Vetal. I am ready to dedicate myself fully.
Do you have any idea the trauma you have caused me? The damage you could have wrought upon this house?
It was never my intention to harm you or this house. Losing Vashti. So much devastation. I feared we devoted ourselves blindly to a path that would lead to our end. I let my emotions get the best of me. I lost my way, but I have returned. Repentant and ready to serve.
You may have a point.
You know what he says is true. And it will ensure House Vethal's values remain intact when the time comes for Vaeric to assume the title of Elder.
So I stand corrected. Vaeric, I have always seen myself in you, son. Even the weaker emotional side. Much like your aunt does for me, I know Vashti did for you. She was your anchor. It should be no surprise how her death drove you away.
Thank you, Father. All I ask is for your understanding and forgiveness.
And you shall have it.
It's good to have you back with us, Vaeric.
You put my son back on the right path and guided him home.
Come, Vaeric. Let us get you resettled.
Now that we have a bit more privacy, I wanted to discuss the matter of any traitors among us. Did you find anyone who aided my son in his treachery? Good. Unfortunately, I have heard ramblings among the people of Vaeric's disappearance. Wardens are dealing with the matter as we speak. But, while not the orders given, you restored this house and have my gratitude. Here, the access code that Ekris needs to connect to the power grid. Now go. Obviously, my son and I have much to discuss. Go. We have kept Ekris waiting long enough. Ekris awaits, Vindicator. Ekris awaits, Diviner. I was at the Hall of Obedience, discussing matters that do not concern you when I first saw it. A strange light emanating from the Scale Citadel. It was but a moment later, and light filled the entire room, followed by an indescribable sound, and then silence. All must serve.
I never had the patience for computer systems.
We mourn the loss of our fallen, but they walk with the serpent.
I was hoping being in the keep might help. But I still see the faces of those we lost. Vashti knew my heart and mind well. She might have been disappointed I returned, but she'd also be happy I remained with the family. Our father is what would bother her the most. She would have made a far better elder than I. If only he would have listened. For her sake, I hope we can resolve our differences, once and for all. I was on my way to see my father at the Halls of Obedience when it happened. I had just crossed Jinan Plaza when I saw the light pulse from the Citadel, and the sound felt like it went right through me. I couldn't help but fixate on the Citadel itself, surrounded by that strange energy. It didn't even dawn on me until later, just how heavy the losses would be.
I feared we'd never see Vaeric again. I mostly looked after the House members, trying to take a more active role in the lives of our people. Victor's attention is more administrative-focused, so he has little time to deal with personal grievances or requests. Since the destruction, I did all I could to help ease our family's grief. But once Vaeric left, I turned my focus completely to Victor. I remember the light and a horrible sound. But most of all, I remember Victor's face when he rushed outside to find us. He kept saying it was gone. Disappeared. I'll never forget the moment he took us into the Halls of Obedience to see the devastation that surrounded the Scaled Citadel. The heartbreak and horror we felt knowing whatever took Dazra took our house and family with it. Great Serpent keep you.
Great Serpent bless you for bringing Vaeric home to us. Yes. Vaeric is in the unfortunate position of having Victor as a father. I do what I can for my nephew. My hope is that these recent events will allow them to discuss their differences more openly. I was with Luther, just outside the Halls of Obedience. We saw light pulsing in the sky, and then a sound like a percussive scream. We didn't even realize the damage until Victor came rushing outside and pointed us toward the scaled citadel. And it was then that we knew. Knew Vashti and so many others were lost. Until next time.
I think you may be trying to take a little too much on. Literally.
Serpent keep you. All must serve.
Serpent's favor upon you.
You do not have approval to trade with me. Apologies, but sorry, but you will have to get approval before you can buy me. You do not have approval to trade with me.
All I am saying is that I am not pleased. All must serve.
What am I to do now? I do hope that the Great Serpent... I will pray for you.
Overthinking. Why is staying positive so hard?
Vindicator. We lost a lot of good people to the vortex.
Glad we got that whole Vaeric business sorted. Whole thing was starting to be a real pain in the ass. Well, I was the guy who was gonna smuggle him out of Varun Kai. But that was before he ran off and Victor put him on the shit list. And if someone fingered me as his ride out of here, well, this lumpy old head would be on a pike somewhere, being meat for the crows. Anyway, seeing as I don't have a ship, I'm kind of out of a job. So I was thinking, if you're looking for an extra hand, I got two. They both work well enough, I mean, for my age anyway. But fair warning, I can't do all that moving around and trying new things, stuff that the kids do. Because fact is, I'm retired. Not from work, but life. Nope, it just means when there's a bench, I park my butt on it. If there's meat on the menu, I'm ordering it. Simple as that. Well, I got arthritis, and they shake from time to time. A lot of pain from years of lifting stuff, moving crates, that sort of thing. Buddy of mine said I got 2 left feet. What he forgot to mention is that they're attached to my wrists. Well, I'm just telling you how it is. I'm a smuggler, not a fighter. Doesn't mean I'm not useful. Oh, and one other thing. I've got a reputation. You ask anyone about Tain Salaver, and they'll tell you he's old and lazy and useless with a gun. And I'm here to tell you that's only half true. I am old and lazy, but I'm okay with the gun. Because we know all the shortcuts, and we don't start fights we can't win. And yeah, I've killed people. I don't go around bragging about it, though. Is that sarcasm? I can't tell. I mean, yeah, I don't move much, but I can if I have to. Depends on what's chasing me. Well, even before I lost my ship, I've been looking to branch out. Being a smuggler is fine, but there's not a whole lot of job security. Maybe this is a bad read on my part, but being on your crew seems like a steadier paycheck. Well, the pay scales up with the risk, and at some point it's just too much of one to make the other worthwhile. Besides money, there's two things I look for in a job: excitement and complexity. I want neither. Give me boring and stupid and make it pay well? That's the dream. Good. I like your hiring style. No interview or background check. That's all bullshit anyway, in case you didn't know. Better you just point me to my station so we can get on with it. Guess I'll be heading out. Used to be a lot of government building. Already, huh? I can tell you, but just so you know, talking about this stuff's not really my thing. If you want to know that, the last thing you should be doing is asking about my relatives. Look, my family and I aren't close. I'd like to give you a sob story like we're all alcoholics or something. But the truth is a lot stranger. We just don't talk. It's not like we hate each other or anything. If I see my brother, I'll be the first to give him a hug. It's just been 10 years since the last one. Nope. Weird, I know. But that's just not something we ever did. That's why me getting stuck on Rune Kai wouldn't seem out of the ordinary to anyone. If I get lost, the only people who are gonna file a missing persons report are the goons at the Trade Authority. I don't know, the thought never crosses my mind. It's not like I'm dying or anything. Of course, when I do die, it'll probably be another 20 years before someone tells them. You think so? If they're anything like me, I doubt it. It's not that I don't care. I just don't care enough. I'm too busy trying to work the space lanes to worry about which cousin has a birthday this week. But fine. If it'll make you happy, maybe I'll send a slate and see what they're all up to. You mean all that serpent stuff? I don't know. Isn't any crazier than the Sanctum Universum. I've lived a long time and seen a lot of weird shit. Great serpent, lesser hamster, holy pineapple. It's all the same to me. Pray to whoever or whatever you want. If your creds are good, then so are we. It's all run by House Dulkef. From managing the supply chain to enlisting spies and doing intelligence. They call themselves the Ministry of Commerce. I thought it was just a fancy name for a smuggling racket, but being on the inside, I could tell you it's a well-oiled machine. Everything runs on time. Every book is exact to the decimal. And everybody involved knows to keep their mouth shut. Gotta be. Although I haven't met any myself. And I know better than to ask. That's how House Dulkef does things, from top to bottom. The boss man Hasmack runs a tight ship. Doctor prescribed it for me. Said it'd be good for my blood pressure. So I've heard. Chems always make me dizzy though. But if you want the real story, I became a smuggler for the same reason any hustler, deadbeat, or soldier of fortune does anything. Money. I did it for the money. We had enough. You know how smuggling isn't all the way bad, just a little bad. Well, maybe if we were poor, I would have been a pirate or spacer. But I only had to break the law a little to get by. You're preaching to the choir there. It's a bit rough going at first, but once you learn all the angles, it's cake. All right. Getting there. I guess I'll start from the beginning. My dad was a military guy, and we moved around a lot. That meant spending a lot of time at spaceports. That's where I got my education. I'd watch how crates were moved, logged, and stashed. I'd see how palms were greased and how to ask for what you want without saying what you mean. Had to be. The military was his life. The old man didn't have much else. He could fit all his interests into a teaspoon if he had to. Just a master's? Don't sell me short. I've got at least a doctorate. Long story short, I eventually saved enough to buy a small freighter and got in contact with the guy at the Trade Authority. And here's the kicker. My first job? Smuggling a big old pile of Varun heretic writings. At the time, I thought they were just pamphlets. But hey, maybe they were a sign. One time to finesse a guard, I started a rumor my ship was haunted. He was gonna board my ship to search for contraband, but as soon as I told him the name, his face turned ghost white, and he waved me on through. That's a long story. You sure you want to hear it? Or are you cool with the short version? Oh God, seriously? Oh, fine. I'll start from the beginning. So I got a reputation in the smuggling business. No muss, no fuss. But my main rule is, I don't rat out my suppliers. And I got 20 months in a Martian prison eating salted rocks to prove it. Sure they did. Freedom, a swanky apartment, and all the steak I could eat. But there's an old saying, you feed birds bread, they forget how to fetch the berry. I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna live a beggar's life to be king for a day. Smuggling organs. And I know what you're thinking, but I'm just the delivery guy. Not my business who they belong to. Then remind me to never tell you any secrets. So I'm expecting to do hard labor. Strings on my back like a damn puppet for the UC. But after 6 months, I get out for good behavior. Well, I tell them they got the wrong guy. My behavior flat out stinks. Still, the guard insists. Says someone in a fancy suit vouched for me, and he's waiting at the broken spear. Now, I've never worn a suit in my life, and I don't deal with anyone who does. And I'm willing to bet this guy's favor comes with his own set of strings. Best I can tell, a middleman. Maybe he works for the Snakes, but more likely he was just a contact, twice removed. You know what? I agree. Because my life got way more interesting after. Anyway, guy offers me a job, but he's real light on the details. He can't tell me what cargo he wants to move. He can't tell me who it's for. Won't even tell me his damn name. Just wrote some numbers on a napkin and left the bar. But the napkin told me all I needed to know. The coordinates and the payment. In advance. Yeah, I would have preferred that, but I get why they didn't. There's no guarantee I wouldn't just sell those numbers to the highest bidder. Not a lot, but enough. As for the job, it went down like this. I jumped to the location, and there's another guy waiting for me. My job is to pass off the cargo to him. Thing is, he's a real chatty bastard. Tells me the same story I just told you. How he was given coordinates to land and coordinates to jump to. He tells me he thinks there's a whole crew of us working like a relay team, but I keep my mouth shut because it's none of my business. Funny thing is, next time I do the job, the chatty guy's gone, and I'm doing his route instead of mine. Yeah, but it also raises the stakes. You rat someone out, you weren't going to lockup. You're dead. Anyway, every time I do the job, the jumps get more and more remote, and the relay team gets smaller and smaller. And the more remote the job, the more slick the operation. Faces I haven't seen, shorter drop-offs, no combos. It's all business. Then one day, I'm asked to meet with someone who clearly isn't local. Nah, nothing like that. Just a man from a place off the map. At that point, I realized the whole thing was a test, and now it's time to jump to the homeland for real. I also knew that if I screwed this up, I'd be a dead man, so pressure was on. I could hear my old man chirping in my head, reminding me to keep from shaking. So I kept still, said nothing, and completed the job. More importantly, I earned their trust. The rest is like that old tale about Jinan and the snake. History. Right on. What's on the docket? Yeah. That's a long story. Good, saves me time and oxygen. So a while back, I spent some time in the clink because I refused to snitch on my supplier. I guess someone liked how I did business and sent a middleman to offer me a deal. They didn't tell me any details about the job, but they paid in advance, and that was good enough for me. I know, not my style to take a leap of faith, but I got bills and a stomach that needs feeding. Besides, how bad could the job be? At my age, it takes a lot to surprise me. As for the job, it went down like this. I jumped to the location, and there's another guy waiting for me. My job is to pass off the cargo to him. Thing is, he's a real chatty bastard. Tells me the same story I just told you, how he was given coordinates to land and coordinates to jump to. He tells me he thinks there's a whole crew of us working like a relay team, but I keep my mouth shut because it's none of my business. Funny thing is, next time I do the job, the chatty guy's gone, and I'm doing his route instead of mine. You, got a prescription for those rose-tinted glasses? Because that is not how I saw it. Anyway, every time I do the job, the jumps get more and more remote, and the relay team gets smaller and smaller. And the more remote the job, the more slick the operation. Faces I haven't seen, shorter drop-offs, no combos. It's all business. Then one day, I'm asked to meet with someone who clearly isn't local. Yeah, but I wasn't in the club just yet. At that point, I realized the whole thing was a test, and now it's time to jump to the homeland for real. I also knew that if I screwed this up, I'd be a dead man, so pressure was on. I could hear my old man chirping in my head, reminding me to keep from shaking. So I kept still, said nothing, and completed the job. More importantly, I earned their trust. The rest is like that old tale about Jinan and the snake. History. Fine by me.
With Vaeric back,
I'll do anything
sure.
to sleep in.
You seem to be doing well. I'll drink to that.
It is difficult to imagine that. See you around.
It has been a hard day.
Seems it has been one hard day after another for most.
No telling how long
Fair
it will
enough.
take to rebuild.
No relief on the horizon.
Yep. Make that 2 drinks, actually.
Another drink will not hurt.
Will I ever see my family again?
Oh, we can pause for a moment.
One wrong move and I called the god. What do you want? No problem. I do not know what to make of your arrival here. You may have convinced the others, but I'm not entirely sure you are not a foe. However, your credits are worth as much as anyone.
Now, what do you want? Here.
Already have enough to worry about. I have no reason to be concerned. The Great Serpent is testing our faith, and my devotion has always been resolute. Myself and my business shall both be stronger at the end of this, as a product of our loyalty to the Great Serpent. No, you will always be an outsider to me. Always. The last thing this city needs is to open the gates and let outsiders flood in. Outsiders with weapons, cruel, ulterior motives. I am disappointed that so many of my people have embraced you so blindly, when we should have found strength within each other. I will not dignify that nonsense with an answer. Your credits are...
The guards overheard my neighbor forsaking the Great Serpent. What a fool. I've not seen him in days.
Borhall and Hello. I pray this experience is enough to lead Borhall and Amila to repair their relationship.
Perhaps it is not so.
Pray the interlock proves useful once inside the scaled citadel. Ah, did Victor finally relinquish the access code? Slowly, but it will be much faster if you have the power grid access code. Testing without full power is extremely limiting. Ah, excellent. We'll finally have the resources to fully charge the morning device. Now, let's hope House Kadik is as forthcoming as the others. Our fate lies.
Our preparations are complete.
Salutations.
drive. I get to look for you.
Struts retract. Let's get out of here. Apogee kick complete. Orbit steady. Switching over to standard engines.
This is UC Space. You are cleared to dock with the Den. Den acknowledging incoming hail. Docking Bay 1 is free.
And we're locked in.
May I be of service? If there's anything I can do, I hope we have what you need.
I also wish to be prepared for any situation, but there are practical things.
All green on release. We're free to fly. Jump complete. Normal propulsion restored.
This is Freestar Space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband. Alright, you're good. Welcome to Aquila City.
Something to report?
Outlook. I don't do payment plan. Just so you know.
Everyone needs supply. How about I just show you?
Take a look around. It's a good bet I've got something you need.
If you have to wear it, you might as well fit it to your liking.
Get all kinds in here. Rangers, traders, locals, tourists. They all come to me for supplies. I want to do your business quick. Rangers plan on dropping by for an order soon. I get all kinds in here. Rangers, traders, locals, tourists. They all come to me for supplies. Take a look around. It's a good bet I've got something you need. Everyone needs... Here.
There's not enough to do around here.
I think you'll find that we carry... Here's what I have in stock.
Welcome. The Trade Authority look happy to.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
Lifting off now. Orbital pattern locked in. Grav jump complete.
Good day. Well, it has been... So, if you... I will be here if you need me for anything else.
Great goods for a great... Just tell me. Hard to believe it. Sure.
Promise.
May the Great Serpent bless you.
Since you exposed Okeem, we'll be reviewing our policy for new House members.
So, Akris has sent our newest Vindicator to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction.
The Ministry of Conjunction is one of the 3 government branches of our society. We deal in information to ensure the High Council can make educated decisions. Most of our work is highly classified. Even the High Council itself may not be aware of all that we're involved in. House Kadik is one of the 3 noble houses under House Vaerun. We've a reputation on being the more moderate of the 3. Not as fervent as House Vithal, and not as passive as House Dolkef. We're also largely associated with the Ministry of Conjunction, since I lead the department. You're right. It's not wise to waste time on pleasantries, especially now. Besides, who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? This is exactly what I was afraid of. Serpent, give me strength. I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
This is a major overreach. I have never known the Zealots to be so bold.
What happened to Dazra was a cataclysmic event. The city may seem in order now, but those first few days, it was chaos. And the Zealots took advantage. Because right now, this situation is a matter for the Ministry of Conjunction. As much as the Council thinks it's their business, it's not. At least not yet. They want Sahima, and we're trying to produce her. Perhaps the Zealots you know. But they were once a part of Vaerun society. Our relationship is far more complex. The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council, or even the reinstatement of their house. House Malene. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. They had a house. House Malene was abandoned a long time ago, but there are some who'd want to see it reinstated. House Malene was fully dedicated to Jandar Vaerun. They objected when his brother, Vaeric, was chosen to take over as leader. They knew he would bring an end to the Serpent's crusade. It's why they abandoned their house and became the Zealots you know today, to continue what they believe is Jinan and Jandar's work. Jinan Vaerun had twin sons, Vaeric and Jandar. Jandar fully supported the Serpent's crusade, and to many in House Malene, was the best suited to take over for his father. Yes, and it's exactly why I need the upper hand in these negotiations. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the Zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here, present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. Of course. But the negotiations offered a chance to get Sahima and the others back without putting lives at risk. I saw the chance and had to take it. As demanding as I'd expected the Zealots to be, I fully intended to do everything in my power to bring them within reason. I couldn't have put it better myself. However, there's still one unanswered question. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Vaeric. Vaeric is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. How would you... I'm beginning to see why the Great Serpent chose you. As I said, Vaeric works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now. On my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit. As long as no physical harm comes to them.
Understood.
The Zealots don't trust easily. If their location was discovered, Vaeric would most likely be the first they'd suspect. They'd never trust them or any agent of House Kadik again. The people of Dazra look to us elders for strength and guidance. We cannot fail them at a time like this. Don't let my composure fool you, promised? It's neither easy, nor something I take lightly. What better way to surveil a threat? It's important for us to know what the Zealots may be targeting, to stay one step ahead. Vaeric is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk. See that you do. You'll find Vaeric upstairs in the meditation room. Vaeric may deny knowing anything, but don't let them fool you. Of course. Vaeric is proving to be an excellent addition to the Ministry of Conjunction. Not only are they a great agent, but their grasp on house politics is remarkable for such a young age. If only they could humble themselves a bit, they'd be a perfect fit for High Council mediary, or even House Elder. You can find them upstairs, in the meditation area. Normally, I don't condone business of any sort there. But this is an exception. Vaeric is a young and upcoming agent within the Ministry of Conjunction. They moved up quickly, and because of this, along with their rather spoiled upbringing, Vaeric's biggest weakness is their ego. Let's just say, compliments can get you anywhere. Good. If you have further questions, let me know. If you feel it will help. Because it's my duty as head of the Ministry of Conjunction, having insider information on the Zealots is vital to Dazra's safety. A seat at the table, justice for Jandar, the reinstatement of House Malene, any number of unreasonable demands that my house would be incapable of fulfilling on our own. It all comes down to power. The Zealots have leverage for the first time, and they intend to abuse it. Normally, no one would. But our people are in a state of mourning. I couldn't afford to risk lives when there may have been a peaceful way out. Hopefully, you'll be able to find the hostages, steering these negotiations in our favor. Good. If you have further questions, let me know. What would you like to know? Sahima is a brilliant mind. who's always been a bit on the outskirts of the family. She can be a bit temperamental, but it's mostly due to people misjudging her capabilities. Otherwise, she's kind, yet ambitious. Sahima was once part of a science team that worked directly with Anaska. But, being young, they didn't want to listen to her theories. Or, more importantly, her warnings. Sahima's theories may now be the key to reaching the Scaled Citadel. Or maybe even restoring Dazra. As you know, the Zealots are extremists. Whatever desire you know our people to have to make contact with the Great Serpent, it's tenfold where the Zealots are concerned. After the Cataclysm, it wouldn't take long for them to find out what we were doing, and how Sahima may be the key to fixing it. Good. If you have further questions, let me know. Vindicator.
Please try not to alert anyone to what you're doing. Good. And so our adventure continues.
Something I can do for you? Your focus should be on Ras. All must serve.
Remember, house education.
Great Serpent will deliver us from this.
No loitering. Buy what you need.
About time you were. Wait. I trust you have slept well?
Buy what you need and then get out. Here.
Not everything in the galaxy needs to come with us, you know.